Singapore's history dates back over 700 years, when it was a small fishing village known as Temasek. In the 14th century, Singapore was part of the powerful Srivijaya Empire, which controlled much of Southeast Asia. However, the empire's influence declined, and Singapore was subsequently ruled by various Malay kingdoms, including the Johor Sultanate. In 1819, Sir Stamford Raffles of the British East India Company arrived in Singapore and signed a treaty with the local rulers to establish a British trading post. This marked the beginning of British colonial rule in Singapore, which lasted until the country gained independence in 1965. Under British rule, Singapore developed rapidly as a major trading hub and centre of commerce. The population grew significantly as immigrants from China, India, and other parts of Asia came to Singapore to seek their fortunes. However, life for many of these immigrants was difficult, with poor living conditions and limited job opportunities. During World War II, Singapore was occupied by the Japanese, and thousands of Singaporeans were killed or imprisoned. After the war, Singapore struggled to recover, and tensions between the ethnic groups grew. The ruling British colonial government faced increasing pressure from a growing nationalist movement, which called for greater self-rule. In 1959, Singapore was granted self-government, and in 1963, it joined Malaysia as a state. However, the relationship between Singapore and Malaysia quickly deteriorated, and Singapore was expelled from Malaysia just 2 years later. This forced Singapore to chart its own course as an independent nation. Since gaining independence, Singapore has become one of the world's most prosperous and successful countries, with a thriving economy, world-class infrastructure, and a high standard of living for its citizens. The country has also faced various challenges, such as racial tensions and a rapidly aging population, but has worked to address these issues through policies such as multiculturalism and social welfare programs. Singapore is a sovereign island city-state in Southeast Asia. It is located at the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula, and is separated from Malaysia by the Straits of Johor to the north. Singapore is known for being a highly developed country, with a high standard of living and a strong economy. The country has a population of around 5.8 million people, and is a diverse mix of ethnicities, with Chinese, Malay, and Indian being the largest groups. The official languages are English, Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil. Singapore is known for its clean streets, efficient transportation system, and strict laws. It is also a popular tourist destination, with attractions such as Marina Bay Sands, Gardens by the Bay, and Sentosa Island. The country's economy is highly developed and diversified, with a focus on industries such as finance, manufacturing, and tourism. It is also home to one of the busiest ports in the world, and is a major hub for international trade. Singapore has a government that is led by a prime minister and a president, and is known for its strong rule of law and low levels of corruption. The country also has a highly skilled workforce and invests heavily in education and research and development.